Let's see if I can balance them now. I'm not gonna be able to balance them. Okay. Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. And it is already March 30th. Which is crazy because I feel like I just did my March TBR, and as I was looking back to see the books that I read in March, I'm like, wait, was that really in March? It feels like such a long time ago. But at the same time, it feels crazy that March is already over. It's a weird feeling. Today, we are doing my March reading wrap-up and then my hopeful, we'll call it, TBR for April. I put all my books in this pretty little spring bag because I tried to choose books that gave me the spring vibe because I've been feeling the spring vibe lately, and I feel like in April it's gonna make me feel it even more, and it's so exciting because I love spring. March TBR right here with all our little tabs, and then we have my, March reading wrap up right here, and then spring, April TBR here. We're gonna talk about a bunch of books today, and I'm so excited because that is my favorite thing to do. So, starting with our March TBR. I read 5 books in March. Well, I guess you could say 4.5 because one's a novella and one I'm like almost done with but I haven't finished yet. I only have like maybe 100 pages left, so it shouldn't take long. So we're including this in my March wrap up. I read 5 books. It was a good month in the beginning. Not so good a month at the end because of one specific book I'm gonna tell you about. Starting with the first book I read, The Final Gambit. This is the 3rd book in the Inheritance Game series. This was on my TBR video. Actually, three of these books I'm gonna tell you were actually on my March TBR video. I was like good with staying on my TBR. So The Final Gambit, I did tab a bunch of cute little quotes and fun things that I found. I gave this book 5 stars because it was just the perfect ending, I feel like. I think a lot of people didn't like this book and I could see why, but I gave it 5 stars. It's a 5-star series for me. I think I ended up reading this book in like 3 days. Well, I don't love the ending, and if you read this book you might know why, due to what they decided was gonna be the arc of a character that I grew to like. I'm not gonna give away too much, but I didn't love that part, but it was still 5 stars for me because I loved everything else about it. I let it pass just because I love this whole series. The second book I read is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Off-Campus series, and I actually talked to one of my friends, and this is her favorite series ever, so I'm pretty excited to get into the rest of the series. I bought it all. Okay, so I gave this book 4 stars because I did tab some things. It was good, but it wasn't anything amazing. It was a hockey romance. I thought it was young adult, but apparently it's not young adult. But it is a hockey romance. It's dual point of view, grumpy sunshine, the classic, you know, popular boy, quiet girl. It has a lot of tropes in here, and I don't know. It was almost like High School Musical to me. It had the same story, more adult, of High School Musical. So there's just something about it that made me not give it 5 stars. I liked Gareth. I even liked some of the twists they put in this book, and it was definitely interesting to read. I liked the writing style, but I'm definitely going to continue the rest of the series because I think the rest of the series is about the other characters that you met in this first book. My air is on. Can you hear that? I hope it's not bothering anyone. The 3rd book I read. You guys, this book consumed me. And if you watched my previous video, you know what it is. Magnolia Parks. Can you just look all of these tabs I did? This book is why I fell off reading in the middle of the month, because I feel like Jessa Hastings put me in a book slump because I loved this book so much. I just wanted to revel in it for a little bit, and I didn't want to start a new book because it was so good. 5 stars. Did I say that? Obviously 5 stars. It was so good. The writing, the quotes. I'm not gonna rave about it too much because I have an entire video on it. Go watch that if you want more. But Magnolia Parks hit. It hit. One of my new favorite books. The 4th book that I read is a novella. It's Killjoy by Holly Jackson. It's actually a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that series, which I did read, I think, last year. And I really, really liked that series, except the last book. I was like, ugh. That series was so gripping to me, but I feel like in the last book, they just sort of lost sight of who Pip was, and she just completely changed character, and her thoughts changed. It was just like, felt like a 180 to me, and I didn't love that ending. So yes, this is the first novella. It was a really fun read. I gave it 3.75 or 3.5 stars, I think, because it's a novella, so I feel like I couldn't give it that 4 stars that I gave The Deal because it was just a novella, but it was a very good novella about a murder mystery party, which is a very fun concept. I think it takes place literally right before the first book in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It sort of introduces you to why Pip became so obsessed with the murder that she was doing her project on. It gets you started on like how she got into that obsessive, analytical mind for true crime through this murder mystery party. It is scary though, like I'm not gonna lie. There were like jump scares in this that made me go like, ah! It was always some good comedic relief because it was just about a murder mystery party. A good mystery to solve. So yeah, that's the next book I read. The 5th book I am going to count because I am about halfway through. So I'm definitely going to finish this today and tomorrow. It's The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This was on my TBR. It was kind of a letdown. That's why I haven't finished it. I started this a week ago and I haven't finished it. And I just am in the mood to just like finish it. There's only 2 tabs, which, you know, that's how you know the writing isn't everything I'm looking for. I guess it's sort of like Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, which is a book I read and I didn't really like until it got to the end because there's a whole bunch of build-up, like a whole bunch of build-up, and it goes now, then, now. The then is a few days leading up to the wedding, and then the now is the wedding and when something happens, and it was kind of boring to me. She wasn't making me want to get interested in all these characters because I think there is supposed to be a sort of ominous tone to all the characters because you're supposed to kind of suspect all of them, but she just doesn't give me enough to want to read and learn more and feel something for these characters, and I think that's where it fell short for me and why it's taking me so long to finish reading it. I'm guessing it's gonna be like a 2 or 3 star unless the ending is fantastic. That might bump it up, but I'm guessing it's gonna be like a 2 or 3 star. I will keep you updated. A little bit of a letdown, but still like an okay thriller. If you like Alice Feeney and if you like Rock, Paper, Scissors, you're probably gonna like this book. It's just not for me. So yes, these are my books that I read in the month of March, with all the books you could tell peaking in the beginning of the month. So now moving into my April/springtime themed TBR. I have this adorable bag that has a whole bunch of flowers and flower names on it. The first book I have in here, I picked 5 books for my spring TBR, and they all kind of have the spring color aesthetic because, again, I'm theming it sort of like springtime. The first book is, first of all, can you get more springtime than this cover? Probably, but I mean like the outside. Can you get more springtime than this? I don't think so. This is Daisy Hates. It is the 2nd book in the Magnolia Parks universe series, and it is about Daisy Hates. It's not about Magnolia. I am so excited to get back into this world. I've been holding off on this because I wanted to get through some books before I dive back into it because I know it's gonna be all consuming to me again, and I'm just so excited to get back into the universe and get back into knowing these characters. It's about Daisy Hates, who was mentioned briefly in Magnolia Parks, but I think it's more mafia gang plot driven instead of, you know, Magnolia Parks' dad was like a producer or something. It's more of like the underground, the gang lord stuff because that's what Daisy Hates' family does. So I'm assuming that Christian and Julian are going to be in this more because they're like main characters in Magnolia Parks, but they're another gang. So I think that something's gonna happen with them. We're gonna get more of them, and I just am excited because I cannot wait to get in to this world again. That's our first book. The next book on my TBR is The Mistake by Ellie. This is the 2nd book in the Off-Campus series. It tells the story of John Logan, who we met in the first book. It's another hockey player on Garrett's team, and then Grace, who I think was mentioned in The Deal, but I really can't remember. It's another hockey player college romance, but this time it seems like a second chance romance. Instead of the enemies to friends to lovers, it's more of a second chance romance, which I like. So hopefully I'll like this book. It's also told in dual point of view of Grace and Logan. So I'm kind of excited to read a second chance book. And then we have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I have opened this book 10 times and read the prologue and the first chapter and just haven't continued with it because I think I can tell that it's going to be a book that I'm gonna have to be in like a romance mood for, and I haven't really been in a romance mood as much. I've been in more of like a literary fiction thriller mood, I guess you could say. Archer's Voice, if you haven't heard about this book, I don't know where you're living. It says it's one of the top 100 romance novels of all time on Goodreads, so I have high expectations for this book. It seems like it does deal with some pretty serious topics, so I would check trigger warnings if you're concerned about that. But I have heard this is some people's favorite book. It's obviously a really good romance. It was rated in the top 100 on Goodreads. So I'm gonna do it. It matches the spring colored theme, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna read it this year. This month. If you could tell, okay, I have to like do this now. These are very springtime covers, and then for the next two books we're gonna move into more summertime covers and summertime colors. So the first one is Wait For You by Jennifer Armentrout. The next video after this one is gonna be another bookstore vlog, and this is one of the books that I picked up in it. And it seems like it is a romance, but also there's a mystery. The main character is hiding something. I like when you're trying to figure out as the reader what her mystery, what her secret is. It just seems like a cute little book. It's actually part of, I think, a pretty big series. Right now it looks like it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. It's part of a pretty big series, so I hope that it's good. The cover just looks so pretty to me. The back was interesting. So yeah, that is the fourth book. And then the last book that is giving all the summer vibes is Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. If you didn't know, Christina Lauren wrote Love in Other Words, which was one of my favorite books now since I've read it. Ugh. I cannot speak today. Can you tell I've been talking for like a long time? They are the authors of Love in Other Words, which has become one of my favorite books since I read it in February. I think I saw someone's video on it where they said don't go into this expecting a romance, expect a treasure hunt adventure thing, which I am all for. The cover is giving OBX, the summary is giving OBX. I love OBX, and I am excited to get into this book. There definitely is a romance aspect to it, but I think it's more of an adventure story, which I haven't read too many of those, so I'm intrigued, and I know I like their writing, and I'm excited to get into this book. And yeah, those are, let's see if I can do this. These are the books that I read in March and hope to read in April. Ooh. There is my April TBR, very springtime themed. Now that I can show you guys all the covers, I'm loving it. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you read any of these books. I think the one I'm most excited to get into, if you couldn't tell, is Daisy Hates. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.